Pato O'Ward, driver of the number 5 Aero McLaren Chevy. Thanks so much for taking the time. 2018 Indy Lights champion. So far, 106 starts in INDYCAR, 9 wins, 7 poles, 48 top 5s, 68 top 10s. Like, both those stats are unbelievable. Without a doubt, the biggest star currently in the NTT INDYCAR series. You and I met very briefly at the Indy 500, where you let me.
You were wearing the UPS,
Yeah.
the UPS outfit. I remember.
You let me you let me take a photo with you dressed as a UPS delivery guy holding a tip screen. That was I thought that was a really funny moment during the month of May where like the practice session was going on, and you were just, while the other cars were on track, you're just on hold with UPS waiting for your helmet.
I was waiting for my helmet, man. To be fair, Indy is such a small world
Yeah.
where I came to the point where there was actually people involved in our McLaren that actually had people involved pretty high up at UPS
Yep.
that I didn't know about, but very quickly found out because it started going viral.
Sure.
And they got things there. They got it like probably someone like went straight to the truck, got it off the truck,
Yeah.
and brought it to the racetrack. So I was very lucky being surrounded by that, people that were some way, shape, or form had access to some higher ups there,
Yeah.
and we got to the track just in time. But
I love
remember
that helmet. The Sipatli, correct?
Exactly. Yeah.
Sipatli.
It's a bit of a tongue twister, but
Yeah. Are there any more animal-themed helmets in the future? Maybe a toucan or something
so
like that?
actually today I was texting my helmet guy.
Nice.
We're working on next year's helmet. I don't know what I'm doing, man. I really don't know. I've always tried to switch it up. I love this year's helmet for me. I
It was
love
cool.
the Sipacli Indy 500 one. Um, I loved, I don't know if you remember, but the eyes up here above
Hmm.
the Electrolit logo that looked super cool. I kind of wanted to incorporate that into next year. I wanted to switch around the colors a little bit because there's some new colors coming for 2026 merch. So I wanted to kind of like tie it in. And I don't know exactly what I'm gonna do. I don't know if I'm gonna like completely change the design
Yeah.
or if I'm gonna keep the same design and then just like move around the colors, which is what I usually do. Um,
How involved are you with the design of each helmet?
Very. I mean,
Yeah.
I pick. I,
Yeah.
I I pick and I tell him exactly what I want. Like the ones that he sent me today, I told him I didn't like any of them. So I am. It is one of the only. Well, I would say it's kind of the only thing that I can pick, at least then like from like what people see in the
Yeah.
car. Um, Obviously the suits, the car, I have no say.
Sure.
Um, the helmet's the only thing that I have a say. So I keep it pretty close to my heart with what I want to do with it, and it's the only expression that I have without actually like taking my helmet off and saying something,
Sure.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's very important to me
Yeah.
to have that, and I try and do special helmets here and there.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm gonna do next year. I've been consumed by other things. So
Well, well, to sort of piggyback off of you sort of expressing yourself through helmets, you gave yourself the opportunity to express yourself through fashion when you drove in FP1 in Mexico City for Formula One. And I don't want to talk too much about that free practice session, but I do want to talk about the collaboration you did with Manuel Cuevas,
yeah, how about
who,
that jacket, huh?
dude, that jacket, Pato, was incredible. Just beautiful jacket. If people listening don't know what we're talking about, Pato wore this beautiful jacket by iconic designer Manuel Cuevas, who is a legend in Western wear, Nashville staple. Everybody in the country music world and the fashion world and country music and Western wear knows who he is. And I would just love to know how that collab happened and what was the inspiration behind it?
So it came about, this was actually our McLaren's idea.
Okay.
Very specifically, Will Erickson, the head of, I would say, most of my PR here in the team.
Yeah.
He came to me with the idea, came to me and my sister, and he explained like, hey, this guy does basically one-on-ones, or one-of-ones collection, doesn't matter what. I mean, he can do like a full suit, he can do a jacket, blah blah blah. And he's done stuff for Elvis Presley. As soon as he said Elvis Presley, I said, all right, sold. What are we gonna do? So I basically just told them I love wearing black. I think black is just such an elegant and very nice color. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter what you're doing, it just looks good. So I said I want the jacket to be mostly black, and then I gave them 3 or 4 things that I really enjoy, that are either a part of my life or remind me of somewhere that I love going.
Yeah.
So the flowers here, they're called bugambilias. Those flowers are in a lot of areas in Punta Mita, where I go to the beach and relax. And that's one of my favorite flowers. So I said, I love bugambilias. Didn't tell him what color. I just said, I love those flowers. I love the eagle with the snake in the Mexican flag.
Yeah.
So obviously you saw that straight onto the back of the jacket. I love going to Vegas because it's the best mental escape ever.
Yeah.
You just, all you're thinking about is like, what's the next number, or like what's the next card.
Yeah.
So they did like the I can't remember what cards exactly, but like King of Hearts, or
Yeah.
King of Diamonds, and Queen of Clubs or whatever. So they did that, and then they did like the skulls for the Dia de los Muertos around through the sleeve, and just a very obviously unique jacket.
Yeah.
And it was the perfect place to show it off, because I mean, obviously F1 is a huge stage,
Yeah.
and me being there in Mexico and being such a big week for me, it was like the perfect place to show it off.
I couldn't think of anyone more appropriate for you to collaborate with because Manuel Cuevas, born in Mexico, grew up there, but then he came to the United States when he was 18. He eventually becomes fully immersed into this world and becomes an icon in the country music world, which is inherently a very American world, an American art form.
Yeah.
You grew up in Mexico. You moved to the States when you were 13, I believe. You could become this superstar in American open wheel racing in the NTT IndyCar series. So your careers are similar in that you guys are both straddling two worlds and two cultures while also trying to be like true to where you come from.
Yes.
Which I think is
Yeah,
very cool.
I thought it was just very fitting to. Obviously, he's in a very different stage and phase of life as I am, but I feel
Yeah.
like there's a lot of similarities, as we've both been challenged in America. We both love being in America and living in America, but we also don't forget where we're from. So I couldn't agree more. I think it was is one of the best collaborations, if not the best that I've experienced up until now, for sure.
Is this jacket representative of a shift in how you're going to start expressing yourself through clothing?
Oh man, I feel like I think I'm gonna keep them more as one-offs. To It's all about who's making it, and who's
Sure.
doing it, and it's all about, do they have that vision that's also
Yeah.
gonna tell the story that you want to tell, basically. I think it just, all of that came together so nicely.
I also ask because your sister Elba is incredibly stylish, and I'm blown away by the outfits that she puts together.
She's amazing. Honestly, she's so creative. Like, she's the mind behind all the new collections through Pato Shop.
Yeah.
All of it is her, not me.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's all her, and she has like a natural feel and like vision for fashion, for creativity, in that sense, in that um area, or whatever we call it.
Yeah.
You know, how other people might see it in real estate
Yeah.
or with landscaping. I mean, with so many different, she's got it in the fashion
Right.
area. Yeah.
I know y'all are very close, but has she influenced you at all in how you dress it like every day?
So she does, not always, because I feel like I've always been the type of person that I'm not scared to wear something different, but I
Sure.
have to feel like me.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of wearing something, whether it looks good or bad. I'm not a fan of wearing something where it's not me, you
Yeah.
know? And I do think I have a certain, I wouldn't say style, but I definitely have like a certain look. Um, there's obviously multiple different looks depending on where you're going,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I feel like sometimes I have worn something that I just didn't feel like it was me, and I just didn't feel comfortable in it because it was just like I feel like I'm so like authentic,
Yeah.
and I'm me, and that's what you get.
Yeah.
That when you wear something, it's also like a representation of maybe how you're feeling or where you're going or what taste you have on certain occasions or stuff like that. Where there's really no point in wearing something where like isn't true to what you're actually feeling or wanting to like portray, I would say. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's different. I mean, for
Yeah.
magazines and stuff, I really have no say ever. Um, and some of the things is kind of like don't love it, but some
Yeah.
of the things are like, wow, I would definitely wear that out. So I would say I'm still a rookie in the industry and still finding my way. Because I'm like sweatpants and hoodies as much as you can because I
Right.
like to be comfortable. And if not, then I have no issue wearing a suit or, like a nice sweater with nice pants, obviously. But I don't know. It really depends on the mood.
Sure.
But it feels nice to dress well. For sure, it feels nice. Like, I
Yeah.
understand why girls like to go out all the time and get all that attention, because it really changes your mood, if you
Yeah.
if you if you're liking what you're wearing, it definitely changes the vibe.
Speaking of going out, I know you've had a busy off season. I don't want to talk too much about you driving in Mexico City right now, but I do want to know what it was like seeing the Backstreet Boys at the Sphere in Las Vegas.
I had never gone to a concert ever.
What?
That was my
That was
first
your
concert
first
in my life.
concert?
Yes.
How is that possible?
I I don't go out, man. I am like the most introverted extrovert ever.
So
Like
you're very personable, but you don't like to be social.
I'm never out ever.
Okay.
Like you you will definitely not run into me at a club ever.
Yeah.
I will go to like my way of having fun with my friends, chatting. It's like let's go to dinner. I don't really drink either. I drink maybe 4 or 5 times a year.
Okay.
So I'm not a big drinker. But I can definitely have fun without it. I never really have felt like I've needed it. But it's always like, let's go to a nice dinner. I love food, so it's always like, let's go to our favorite place. Um, maybe like a speakeasy.
Okay.
If we're feeling like some good music or stuff like that. Like even like jazz bars and stuff, I think those are super cool. And you can actually like talk. I hate
Yeah.
going to places where you can't even the whole point is to like talk and chat and like catch up with your friends. What's the point when you can't even do that and then people are like bumping into you and like, I don't like to be in trashy environments with trashy behavior. So, I like to keep things like, well, why I'm there? What's the
Yeah.
point if you can't even catch up. So
this makes a lot of sense, and this tracks, and we can cut this out if you don't want me to include this. But
You're good,
I
you're
went
good.
to the Indy 500, I went with Aaron McLaren. I made some videos with Tony Kanaan and Christian and Nolan. And I remember being back in the parking lot where all of your motorhomes are. And I was there hanging out with Tony, and I looked over, and you were there with your friend sitting crisscross applesauce on the ground in the parking lot like an emo kid. And I was like,
It's just,
all right, that was not what I was expecting.
it's like, what is life for?
Yeah.
Like I get to live this amazing life that I wouldn't change for anything. I love my life. I think I have the best life in the world. And like, you forget that some of the best moments and memories that you have are actually the simplest of conversations and the simplest of environments. Obviously some of them, being at the 85, that is not a simple environment. Like that is just straight up badass. But like parking lot in the freaking motorhomes,
Yeah.
like they're very simple moments that actually live with you for such a long time, depending on what you've been talking about, or like not seeing someone for a long time. Like to me that has so much value.
Yeah.
And like, don't get me wrong, I love nice things,
Sure.
as everyone has seen. And I truly believe that's why you work. You need to enjoy the fruits of your labor, basically. But there is so much value in like the small moments of life. And my circle's already super small,
Yeah.
but I think that makes it even like more, because I love spending time with my family, with my close friends.
Spooning
That
your corgi shirtless on the couch.
Yeah, the dogs, man. I'm a big animal guy. I love all types of animals. So I'm very simple. I really am. I'm really simple. Obviously, know how to enjoy the luxuries of life.
Sure.
But I'm a very, very simple person.
So what you went to your first concert ever? You're spending.
Man, I was definitely a few shots of tequila in.
So this was the one. This is like one of the 4 or 5 times you drank in the year.
Yes, it
Okay.
was. Yeah, yeah, it was right. It was early August.
Okay.
We had 3 races left, and we had just gotten off a great month of July, and I didn't get to celebrate Iowa win or Toronto win. So
Sure.
like I went to Vegas, and that's how I celebrated it. And
Love it.
I took my family, so I was there with them, and it really was just a great time.
Would you go to another concert again soon?
I want to go to another. Like I'm dying to go to his concert, like a Lady Gaga,
Oh
or
yeah.
really wanted to go to a Coldplay concert. I'd love to go to like Fall Out Boy.
Oh yeah.
I'd love to go to Fall Out Boy. What else? I mean, I like some of the old stuff as well, like
Yeah.
like 80s, 90s, even some of the 70s stuff, like so good. Um, like it sucks. I would have loved to seen Michael Jackson like in the flesh.
Sure. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, man, like just that was my first concert, and I really had a great time.
So what has the rest of your off season been like? What have you been doing?
So what was I doing? So I had 2 weeks off. 2 weeks off. Uh, I I kind of stayed off social media really.
Yeah.
I wasn't really posting anything. I just really wanted to enjoy my time in Indy, enjoy my house in like the best time of the year. The
Yeah.
weather was amazing. Went to New York for a couple days with my sister and my brother-in-law. Had some great food there, but man, I always run out of New York and California. Everything is so freaking expensive. Like it's crazy where certain things are right now. Anyways, but I'm not here to talk about the inflation. But
Yeah.
I love going to New York. Had Had a great time, but 3 days was enough. And then that's it, man. Went to Austin, went to Mexico. Mexico was a chaotic week.
I saw you briefly in Austin because I know you were driving the hot laps.
Yeah.
I was there, but you were like you were talking to one of the other drivers. I didn't want to bother you, but
Okay.
so you're traveling a lot. So when you have that, like, one thing I've learned talking to a lot of these drivers is you guys don't really have an off season. Even though you do have an off season, you still have obligations. You're still, constantly training. Do you ever give yourself a few weeks to just not train at all, not think about racing, or is it always on your mind? Is it always on your schedule?
So as soon as the season ended, I did do maybe 1 week of just nothing. It's because as soon as the season ended, I had to fly to London for the simulator for the Formula One things. Then I went to Imola for TPC testing. Then I came home and I had 2 weeks off. But when I did that, I had to stay training because you need to keep up with your neck, especially
Yeah.
for the Formula One car.
Sure.
And I gain, like, through the year, I lose muscle and I gain, like, through my season, I lose muscle and I gain fat. So I try to, like, shave that off.
Do you still incorporate boxing into your training?
Yes, I love boxing. And it keeps you small, but it keeps you strong. But I still have to do a significant amount of weights during the week. So those 2-3 weeks I did just, like, I didn't miss any day.
Yeah.
And then that allows me to not be so physically stressed, I would say, like, trying to keep up with all the workouts because I've done the work prior. So, like, when I'm traveling, I don't have to be going to the gym every day. As long as I'm eating well, I'll be completely fine. So, like, for example, this week, like today, man, I didn't sleep amazing, and I woke up with the alarm, and I just said I'm not going to the gym today. Like, and it's not gonna. I know it's not gonna hurt my performance because I've done the hard work prior.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of maintaining right now. And then January, I would say that's where, like, you hit it really hard for 3 weeks straight perfectly.
Got it.
And then that gets you set up for, like, the rest of the season. As long as you're just maintaining, I'm good to go. At least that's how I do it. I think some other guys do it differently, but there's a lot more recovery in actually letting your, like, body breathe than, like, just keep on hammering it and, like, oh, we need to do this, we need to do that. It's like, well, sometimes you don't let it rest, you ain't getting there, buddy.
Yeah. Do you spend most of your off season in Mexico, or do you still ever go back to San Antonio where you spent your teenage years?
I spend a lot of time in San Antonio. That's where my parents still live.
Okay.
So I've been spending a lot of time there currently. I love coming to Indy. I still spend more time in Texas, I would say, during my year.
Yeah.
But during the racing season, for sure, Indy is, I mean, that's what I consider home. But I
Yeah.
do know I don't spend as much time here as maybe over in Texas. But in Mexico, man, I don't really go at all. Like this year, I've only been like once in March, and then last time was like December, maybe a couple times in January, a couple days in January. So, like, it really hasn't been much at all.
Yeah. In interviews, you talk about how you moved to San Antonio when you were 13 from Monterrey, Mexico.
Yeah.
And even though you had been traveling to the States for a while to race, was that move to Texas a big adjustment for you and your sister? Was there any culture shock to living in the States as a teenager?
I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. I think that was the best decision my parents could have done for my sister and I, because the problem in Monterrey, Mexico, so I moved when I was 11.
11, okay. Yeah.
It's kind of like a socialite, and it's very close-minded. Thinking outside the box there is not the norm. And moving to America really, like, broadened the spectrum of, like, what is expected, I would say, and it kind of just lets you grow into whoever it is that you want to grow into as a person, as a professional. I don't know. I feel like it opened up a new world with so many different possibilities and opportunities because you don't know anyone. It's obviously a different language. It's a different country. Things are done differently. Um, and I feel like here it's more like, hey, everyone's kind of doing their own thing versus like, hey, this is what you need to be doing. Like Mexico is very like, this is what's expected from you and just kind of follow.
Yeah.
And especially with what I was doing, I never fit in to the norm of what Mexico is or even just like a teenager here in America. Like it's just go to school, go out with your friends, party. And I never really fit in. I was always kind of like a lone wolf in that sense. Like I was never invited anywhere, which I believe it's just turned out to be a blessing, really. So there was never an instance where I was peer pressured into doing anything, and I was very focused on like at that time my go-karts, which then obviously turned into something more important as years went on. But I was always very disciplined and very focused on what I wanted. And I really had no interest in anything else, and I had no issue being alone. So I would say for me, it felt like it was a different experience, but it was actually like better than I could have ever imagined because it just allowed me to grow really.
Yeah.
And I feel like my sister would say the same. And
Yeah.
I don't think we'd be, as we are now if we would have stayed because it's so different. It's kind of like when they say like you are who you hang out with, and I think that has so much value in that saying because who you surround yourself with is a huge part of your growth, especially when you are like going through your teens and like I was challenged here in the US.
Yeah. I know IndyCar is working very hard to make a Mexico race happen. Unfortunately, it's not going to be on the 2026 calendar, despite efforts. But IndyCar is coming back to Texas. Your second home away from home, at least growing up, seemed to be Texas. Your first IndyCar win was also in Texas at the Texas Motor Speedway in 2021 in the XPEL 375. This will be a little bit different. It'll be in Arlington, but how excited are you for IndyCar to return to Texas with the Arlington Grand Prix?
Yeah, I'm pumped,
Yeah.
and I mean the Cowboys are part of it. Texas Rangers are part of it. Obviously, IndyCar's been very keen on going back to that market because it's been missed for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a huge market, and obviously Dallas, massive city, but like the track looks super cool. I went to see it there. It wasn't all up, but I got to see the pit lane. Kind of the idea of like some suites were gonna be above they're gonna be above the racetrack.
Yeah.
Like it looks as it should.
Yeah.
Right around the AT&T Stadium, and I'm expecting it to be one of the best events on the calendar for sure because we're tapping into people that maybe don't traditionally watch IndyCar all the time, but there will
Right.
be an opportunity for them to be like, "Hey, let's go check it out,"
Yeah.
and and I think they're gonna love it when they go. I mean, everybody seems to love F1 because of, um, I mean, I think people love it and want to go just because of how sexy it is.
Right.
I know IndyCar doesn't have that level of pull, but the racing aspect of it, once you're there, like it's hard not to get hooked.
I always say like the product on track from IndyCar, in my opinion, is superior to any other series.
No, it's awesome. It's great.
I think like this last season with Alex Palou was an outlier, but you usually have incredible parity where you have so many different race winners, very close championship.
Yeah.
You have somebody who finishes last in one race, and then the next week they put it on pole. And that's what I think is so incredible about the series. I briefly want to talk about your career, if you don't mind talking about it. There was a great article about 4 years ago written by R.J. O'Connell at racefans.net. I don't know if you remember it, but it was about how you had so many different rounds of setbacks during your career in IndyCar. And I just and you even speak in the article, like there were moments and times where you were very unclear about what your future in the series was going to be like.
Yeah.
And I just want to ask you, like, how have those different rounds of setbacks helped shape your mindset and perspective in motorsport today?
Oh man. I I now I mostly live by a couple things. I would say one, I'm a true believer that what is meant for you will always find its way back. Um, you can't put a timeline on a lot of things because I feel like those things come to you whenever you actually either value them and or when you're able to keep them around, you know, because
Yeah.
sometimes, like for example, I see and compare my situation, for example, 2019, I was going straight to Formula One, from winning the Indy Lights Championship, signing with Red Bull. The seat was pretty much done. I don't get my super license. Everything falls apart. I had nothing. Zach's like, "Hey, come to IndyCar, or come back to IndyCar." I was like, "Yes." I mean, I have nothing else. But you know, what would have happened if that seat would have happened? Was I ready?
Yeah.
Was I going to be able to take advantage of it? Was I going to be able to deal with what comes in the world of Formula One?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, we will never know. But I do think what I know now and what it's taken me 4 or 5 years or 6 now in IndyCar
Yeah.
to learn, if I then get that opportunity in Formula One, I well know now that I'd be prepared not only like in how to drive the car. I think at that point that actually is like the easiest part of it, but like learning how to deal with everything that's outside of it, learning how to deal with a bigger operation. Like there's so many things that you have to know of,
Yeah.
in order to make that like something that's going to survive for the future.
Yeah.
That maybe it was a blessing in disguise that it never happened, but you never know. Like right now, I have an opportunity to win the Indy 500, win the IndyCar Championship, and maybe even one day have a challenge at Formula One. Maybe I wouldn't have never had that opportunity, and like that's so much more than I could have ever imagined for myself, you know. So
Yeah.
there's there's definitely like a feeling in me and a true belief that what is meant for you will always find its way either back to you and or it will be for you.
Yeah.
And I would say another thing is it's been when you're so young, and when I was so young, like after doing everything in my power to win in Indy Lights, I mean, it was basically my last chance to just do something to like get recognized, and then everything falls apart when someone promised you something and then they run out of money. That never happens. They give the ride to the guy that you beat,
Yeah.
which doesn't make sense, and then all these different things that you're like, I did everything in my power and I did everything that is part of the playbook of what you need to do in order to get your shot, and you're still not getting it. Like, why me?
Mm-hmm.
And like that was very difficult to deal with when I was younger. Then in getting opportunities that are like, hey, like this obviously is better than not having anything, but like where does your worth lie? Like where in a certain way kind of like self-respect yourself, like you know what you're worth. Don't just accept something to accept it. And
Mm-hmm.
I went through a lot of that in 2019, and like taking risks of like this is maybe the only opportunity I have to save my career, but knowing that I didn't deserve that and I deserved more. I turned down opportunities, which then I got so much crap for. One of them was like eight race deal with Andretti or whatever. But I I wanted something, but I didn't want it in the way where I felt like I was not appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I obviously chose not to take it, and that led me to such a better position. But without taking that risk, you never know where it was gonna land, you know?
Right.
So like, point being, if you don't take a risk, there's no room for growth anywhere. I'm not saying make a stupid decision, but I do think that within every risk that you take as life goes on, even outside of professional areas, um, there will always be something else that comes of it. But sadly, if you knew what the future was going to be like, then you'd have no stress, and the risk wouldn't exist, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm a big believer in, like, when you truly believe in something and or in someone, in this point it was me, um, like, you're not closing a door by taking a risk. I think it's quite the opposite. You're actually opening a new path
Yeah.
in order to take advantage of that. Maybe it's going to take a little bit more time, but like patience will be rewarded.
Yeah.
And I would say loyalty. Take care of the people that took care of you. Take care of the people that were there through the highs and the lows. Um, I think there's a lot of people that are in your life to serve a purpose and or for you to learn a lesson. But sometimes people aren't meant to stay there for very long, you know. And I think growing and like going through the years, I've realized that, um, and I actually think it's a beautiful thing when you see things more clearly, and you thank certain situations and or memories that, like, wow, this really was
Mackenzie, did you
like a
lose Pato?
transformation point in my life.
Oh,
That
sorry.
Oh, you got me. Like at that point,
Yeah, no, I
someone
am.
and
Sorry.
or something that happened can be such a transformative phase of your life that later on you're like, wow, like that was a lot. Like, what if that didn't happen? Where would this be right now? So, no, at this point, I'm super grateful where I'm at. I wouldn't change it for anything. And I would say those are the three main things that I really have as values, and as I've gone through my phases of life. I know
Yeah.
I still have plenty to go,
Yeah.
um, but I think it's safe to say that's been uh, quite a common denominator on all other things when I make decisions.
That's awesome. Very profound answer. And it's very interesting to see how it feels almost serendipitous that you ended up where you did, because it's been very interesting to see not just IndyCar grow, but Aaron McLaren as a team grow and you grow both as a driver and as a personality sort of in parallel with one another. Because I think the ceiling for IndyCar is so incredibly high. And I'm just very excited to see where the series is going. Before we leave, do you have 10 more minutes to do some rapid fire
Let's
questions?
do it. Let's
Okay,
do it.
great. Before we get into like the general questions that I asked the other drivers, first I want to know is who cleaned up all that rice that you threw everywhere in that Rihanna umbrella video?
My sister and I with like a mini vac.
When I watched that video, I'm like, oh God, that's going to take like an hour to clean up.
Yeah, yeah. Do it
I
for
was,
the gram.
I was like, I feel bad for Pato's intern that filmed this and then is like picking up every speck of rice in his kitchen.
No.
Um, you, in a lot of interviews, you talk about racing people hard, but have you ever raced someone soft?
Is that a trick question?
No. You just in interviews, you often talk about racing other drivers hard, but is there such thing as racing somebody soft?
No, then it doesn't work.
Okay, it doesn't work. Can we also talk about your collectible soap head that people can buy?
Oh, hold on.
For those who don't know, it's a soap sculpture of Pato's face that anybody can buy. So if anybody has ever wanted to put
It like
Pato,
kind of looks like me, but it kind of doesn't. It kind of looks
it
like
does.
me, but way more chiseled.
Yeah, if anybody's ever wanted to put Pato's face on their body, this is your chance. Go buy that soap. But I love that. I think that's a very funny product because I always say drivers are here to do two things: drive fast and push product. Um, um, What is one brand you have yet to work with where you're like, dude, I already give you a ton of money. Why are you not reaching out to me? And is it still the beach brand Vilebrequin?
Oh, Vilebrequin.
Vilebrequin.
Win Las Vegas.
Win Las Vegas. I saw you on the floor of Win Las Vegas last year. You were at the roulette table, and I was like, I'm not going to bother him because, like, if he has a hot hand right now, and some stranger goes up to him and throws him off his streak, the win is amazing.
No, they take care of me. They take care of me, but yeah, sponsorship wouldn't be bad.
If you're listening, hit Pato up. Also, I also think the chocolate lava cake industry needs to reach out to you.
Oh. Yes. Yes.
You've talked about in interviews how the one thing you're willing to splurge on in life is experiences. What are some experiences that are currently on your bucket list that you've yet to do?
Oh, wow. I'd love to go skydiving.
Okay.
I would love to go to the Maldives. I've never been there, but it looks insane. Mm-hmm. I need to find a lady friend to go with me. I would love to, at some point, I'd love to fly my own plane.
Okay.
I think that would be awesome.
Should talk to Romain Grosjean. He flies his own plane.
Yeah, I would love to do that. I would, I really think other than that, I've had the pleasure of driving the best cars in the world, literally the fastest and the best. So that's check. I would just love to challenge myself in something completely different.
Yeah.
But it has to be me like driving something or like flying something. So that's why kind of like the plane was very automatic for me to get to. Yeah.
Speaking of you driving something, the 2018 Freedom 100 at Indy Lights, which is now referred to as Indy Next, Colton Herta edged you out by 0.03 of a second. What was more stressful, that race or racing your dad to the hospital to pass a kidney stone?
Racing my dad to the hospital to pass a kidney stone. I thought the guy was dying. I need my dad in my life.
Were you speeding?
Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah. Yeah, and he was like, "You're a horrible driver." And I was like, "Shut up. Like, dude, like, this is not the time for this right now."
I love that. What is your favorite IndyCar track that you've ever driven?
Ooh. I would love to go back to Watkins Glen.
Yeah. Watkins Glen has incredible history in American motorsport. That would be awesome.
Unbelievable circuit.
I think I know the answer to this, but where would you love for IndyCar to go next?
I'm gonna give you 3 places.
Okay.
Mexico.
Yeah.
Japan.
That'd
so Mexico would be a road course.
Japan would you want to go to Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez for IndyCar?
Honestly, I don't care.
Okay.
It could be freaking street course in Cancun or going back to Monterey. Like I don't care.
Okay.
We need a race in UK, man. There's a lot of UK fan base. I think it'd be huge. Like Brands Hatch, that looks like such an IndyCar track. So
that would be cool.
Those 3.
Great. What is the weirdest thing you've ever signed?
Probably like a baby.
What is up with you and IndyCar drivers signing babies? So many of y'all have said a baby's forehead.
It's the IndyCar fan.
So funny.
Yeah, I signed a baby. I didn't know how I felt about that.
Yeah, I'm sure they just did it for the photo. I don't think they had a tattoo.
To sign this year, I signed a lot of.
Okay, all right, good to know.
Female,
a lot of fruit.
Female fruit, yeah. And mine being right before, I was like, "You sure? May I?" And they're like, "Yes." So I was like, "All right."
That's very.
You don't have to ask me twice.
You're going on a road trip with any three drivers in IndyCar. Who's in your car with you?
Felix Rosenquist for sure.
About to be a dad.
And
Very, very exciting.
Alexander Rossi's a huge softie.
Okay.
I'd take Rossi.
Rossi, Fro, and who's your third?
Me.
Well, you got to add one more person to the car.
Oh, one more.
You can be Hunter if you want.
Someone that like yaps to no end. I feel like Connor Daly's got some stories.
Connor Daly, that's a good pick. What is the last TV show that you binged when you should have been sleeping?
Suits.
Suits, classic. Hollywood's making a movie about your career. Who is playing you?
Robert Downey Jr.
Love it. I'm a dude dressed as a dude playing another dude. What is the best fast food chain in America?
In and Out.
Love it. Who is the most famous person in your phone?
It's probably still the same. Gerard Berger.
Gerhard Berger, former Formula One driver?
No, not him. Wait. Let me find him.
Gerard Butler? You're talking about
That
the
one,
actor?
that guy. Yes, Gerard
okay.
Butler.
Okay, from 300?
Gerard Butler. Let me see if I still have him.
Let's call him right now. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Amazing. Love it. Who do you actually read the comments on your posts on Instagram?
Depends on the day. If I have nothing to do, yeah, sometimes I skim through them. There's some funny things over there. Some of the DMs as well. Very, very funny.
All right, we have one last thing I'm going to play. I'm going to try to get through it quick because I know you got to go. We're going to play a game called. Everyone knows that your nickname is Potato, so we're going to play a game called Pato or Potato. Are you ready to play?
Pato or potato? Okay,
Yeah.
let's go.
You ready? All right.
Pato.
Pato, correct.
Potato.
Potato, correct.
Pato.
Pato, correct.
Potato.
Correct. You're good at this. See, it's very simple. Don't overthink it.
Pato.
Pato, all right.
Pato potato.
Pato on a potato, correct. That is a pato on a potato.
Pato on a pato.
That is Pato riding a pato, correct.
Pato on a potato.
Pato driving a potato.
Oh my god.
And what about this one?
Pato and Pato driving two potatoes.
Exactly. This is Pato going wheel to wheel with a pato as they both drive a potato. And what about this one?
Pato Pato.
This is a pato on top of pato eating potato. Who's about to eat?
Oh,
potatoes.
potatoes. Yeah. That's good.
Thank you. Thank you for playing Pato or Potato. Would you like to leave a tip?
No, because I've given you enough time.
Burn! Oh my God! Well, Pato O'Ward, driver of the number 5 Arrow McLaren Chevrolet. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk.
Cheers, bro. Later.